Hello, my name is Mendoza, and this is a presentation on giving effective feedback to students with Asperger's or high functioning autism. A lot of times, these kiddos will need to hear that they need to change something on an assignment, or need to hear that they need to work out some sort of classroom behavior issue or some other issue, and it's a bit difficult to reach them. So there's 4 guidelines for reaching them and for giving them effective feedback. That feedback needs to be welcomed by the student. It needs to be direct because they don't read social cues and they don't listen to metaphors well. And it needs to be culturally sensitive and well-timed. So by welcome, the first thing you're going to want to check is the student you want to talk to, are they in defense mode? And this is a term used by the Asperger experts online, and this is also something that they call a sensory funnel here. If you've got a student in defense mode, they're not going to welcome your feedback, and first thing you need to do is kind of look at the sensory funnel and see, all right, what is kind of bothering them so I can get them to open up? So are they having sensory issues? Are they well aware of themselves and their surroundings? Are they having focus issues? Are they in an emotional place to receive feedback? Are they doing socially okay right now so they can receive feedback? And are they in an organized frame of mind where they can receive feedback and understand what you're saying to them? So the first thing you want to do is check their sensory issues. So you don't want to meet with them someplace where they're covering their ears or having an uncomfortable time. Next, you want to try to build up an emotional bank account with them. So first, you're going to want to start with positive feedback if it's about assignment or if it's about their behavior. You know, I really like how you did A, B, and C, or I really like how you entered the classroom. Or if that seems a little bit too conceived, maybe just have them talk about their favorite topic and bond with them about that first. As you do that, and hopefully you've done this over time with this student, so you already have that emotional bank account built up. But as you do this, they will be more willing to listen to you when you have feedback for them. When you're going to give them feedback, they need to be specifically understanding that that's what's happening. And it's best if you can almost make it like it's their idea. So if they don't openly ask for feedback, which they probably won't, maybe you can ask to give them feedback by saying something like, may I make a suggestion? Or will you let me offer you some advice about this? Or, hey, I think I can help you with this. Would you be willing to listen to my ideas? So get them to say yes first, to open and listen to your feedback. And then that way they will actually listen to what you're saying. So the best way to give feedback is face-to-face. Now, with someone that's on the autism spectrum, or if you consider that they have Asperger's, sometimes direct eye contact might not be the most comfortable for them. So often I'll sit side by side, like the men in this picture, and have something that we can focus on, like their schoolwork, or something that we can look at together where I can point some things out, because that seems a lot more comfortable for them. Depending on the student, even direct in the same room feedback is incredibly uncomfortable. So then you might want to go to a more direct method still, but still one-to-one. So maybe an email if they're really good at reading their email, if they're good at Facebook messaging, if they're always on DeviantArt and you can message them through DeviantArt, make it one-on-one and personal, but make it in a place that they're comfortable with. If you can do face-to-face, that's great, but if they are uncomfortable with that, please find a way that they are comfortable to work. People on the spectrum usually do not do well with metaphors or sarcasm, or even sometimes a roundabout joke. So use very specific language. Don't say something along the lines like, your paper would be better if you would have followed all the standards. You might want to say, your paper would get more points if it followed the length requirement of 5 paragraphs. Or your paper would get more points if it specifically discussed the beginning of the universe. But let them know exactly what you want to talk to them about in very clear language. They will appreciate that versus trying to figure out any type of metaphors or vague references to something. Culturally sensitive. So check the environment you're in. Again, your sensory issues are big here. Sometimes a little bit of candy can go a long way. Hey, here's a candy bowl. Have a couple pieces of candy while we're talking. Make them very comfortable and happy to hear your feedback. Make your feedback well timed. So beyond, if I guess if it's an assignment, you want to do that as quickly as possible after the assignment, but you also need to be aware of some other timing issues. Does this student work better in the morning or later in the day or during lunch or right after recess? When is this student going to be most receptive to getting your feedback? Also, sometimes our students have emotional issues that going on at home or something, if you know, or maybe they've got a social issue. If they were just bullied at lunch, giving them feedback on a paper the very next period is probably not going to be the best time to do that. So you want to make sure that they're emotionally and socially in a good place. You want to make sure that they've are able to focus and organize their thoughts. And you want to make sure it's a good time of day for them, and then they will be happy to listen to you, hopefully. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this helps you when providing feedback to your students with high functioning autism and Asperger's.